7 proven ways. Just a little bit about me. I'll make that quick, trust. Worked with over 3,000 apps. So I started a podcast back in 2013 when Renan was just born, probably. And I had an app. So I started building apps in 2011. In 2013, I was like, I want to take this seriously. Let me interview people in the app space to see how I did it. So I interviewed the co-founder of Shazam, interviewed the co-founder of the guy who created Crossy Road, Color Switch, Rovio, everybody that I could talk to. I just talked to them to learn because I was just doing apps on the side. I had a full-time job doing marketing for a startup in San Francisco. And through that, built up an audience who then started coming to me for marketing help because I had a background. Now, back then, I didn't know crap. I was like, yo, I don't know anything. All I know is digital marketing stuff. But enough started coming to me that 6 months after starting the podcast, ended up leaving my job to pursue this full-time. So we're known for the space, ASO strategies. In 2019, I really made a shift to be focused more on monetization. And so that's what we're gonna talk about today. So unlike the other podcasts out there who might be using it as a marketing channel, the podcast came first for me, okay? Then the business. All right, let's get to it. So I love this slide. I stole this from Rosie. I saw her talk in London. Improving the monetization has 4x the impact on growth compared to acquisition. I don't gotta read it, you guys can read it. Look, that's what I believe. And I got case studies to prove it. And that's why I said proven. Because for me, I like to show things in data form, right? And I'll always distinguish between my opinion versus something that I have data to prove it for you. So here's what I look at when I'm working with anybody. I pull up this spreadsheet. This me is one of my apps, right? And I look at the trial conversion. So this is the funnel. If you got downloads, who's got over 50 downloads a day? You can be proud, come on. 1,000 downloads a day? All right, cool. That's what I look at. If you got downloads, look at the trial conversion. I just try to find the holes, right? If your trial conversion is around 5 to 10%, you're good. If your trial to paid, which is people activating, is around 30 or 40%, you're on industry average, right? And then we got to play around with pricing. Now that's a hard topic. All right, I might not cover that. You're gonna have to test that on your own, but that's how we play around with it, right? I'm like, look, this is where the hole is. If you got no hole, just get more downloads. Number one, if you do nothing else after this, hopefully everybody's doing it here already, especially those 1,000 downloads a day. What's the app? You said 1,000. What? Oh, wait, what? Have we talked? Brainwave sleep sounds app? Rain. Oh, yeah. Okay, I like it. So if you do nothing else, show your paywall during the onboarding process, okay? It's a no-brainer. It will double your revenues. Look, I've talked to enough people who've done it, and they're like, oh, Steve, I don't know why it took so long to do it. You can see Calm. I just pick on the big guys. They're showing their paywall during their onboarding process. Now, here's the reason why. Again, data. Because of my community, I like to think of myself as the encyclopedia of the app business because I get to talk to people, learn, right? We're still doing the podcast. I got my clients, execute. I got my own apps to execute and test. So this is where everybody buys. So somebody tracked it, right? Onboarding, homepage, settings, push notifications, so forth. You guys want to guess, of the people who bought, how many bought over 50%? Raise your hand if you think it's over 50%. Raise your hand if you think it's under 50%. Cool. It is over 50%. Anywhere from 60 to 80% of the people who end up buying will buy during that first-time user experience. And yes, let me repeat it, just for those in the back. Yes, they buy before using your app, right? Because it's a hot lead. They searched for something, they saw an ad, they looked at your screenshots, they looked at your reviews. This isn't somebody just saying, yo, I'm gonna click on this banner ad. No, this is somebody who came in as a hot lead. Number two, it's probably spoiler alert, you wanna have an onboarding process. Look, somebody was just like, yo, okay, let me just show the paywall on the first open. And then he was listening to the podcast and watching the YouTube channel, added some onboarding screens, and he saw a 234% increase in conversions. So I love these onboarding screens because you want to remind users of what the app is. They're not going to download immediately and open the app. As much as we would love them to do that, I mean, I've seen installs to first opens 70 to 80%, okay? So you want a good onboarding process that talks about your benefits. One app we just looked at, he was like, search. saved. It's like, bro, you're not even talking about what the app does. What are the benefits? Those are the features. These are the benefits. So, as you can see, anywhere from 80 to 90% of all the people who buy will buy during these two things: onboarding. My little red dot is on your photos, by the way. Onboarding and homepage. Those, right? 80 to 90%. So really pay attention to those two things. All right. I'm going to play a game with you guys. I got to hold two things. Good thing I'm not holding the mic. A, this is Com's usual board. Look, you can X out, and then they ask for you for push notifications, then they show the paywall. Which one made more money? Or B, where you show the paywall first, ask you to sign up, and then ask for push notifications. All right, ready? Get your hands ready. Loosen up. Who thinks it's A? Who thinks it's B? All right, it is B. 52% increase in sales. So this is one of my clients, right? It is a hard paywall, which all it means is no X, okay? I was like, dude, if we just swap it, I bet you we're gonna make more money. And he did it. Why? Because more paywall views equal more money. You're gonna miss 100% of the shots you do not take. So don't be shy, all right? It's a hot lead. Close them. All right, and this is just up close. So this is one of the clients, right? And I like to always have data. His paywall views went from 40% to 94%. And this is one of the numbers. I know David talked about this in his talk earlier this morning, but the number one metric I look at is first open to paywall view. Again, you're gonna miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? So you wanna really pay attention. Install to paywall view. You wanna get it as close to 100% as you imagine, as you possibly can. Now, for those who are like, Steve, okay, here's some numbers, right? Trial activations, 3x that, 190% increase, and then 52% increase in sales. You're like, Steve, I have to get their email. All right, Olivia, you're probably saying that. Well, look at what Calm does. If you hit try and subscribe, they then force you to sign up. You can't do anything else. You gotta sign up, right? Cool. Look at paywall, more paywall views, more money. Headway, I love this example. We're gonna be testing this a lot. I'm thinking about win-backs a lot recently. And so, second open and every app open, they show you this. We have a special gift. Here's 50% off your offer. All right, I love that. And we have seen this work too. One of the apps we work with, it says remove ads too, and you hit X. Guess what happens? Yeah, exactly. Can I call you Skittles from now on? I'm just kidding. All right, let's play another game. A, who do you think won? This is Paywalls. This is a short, nice and sweet. This is super long. Who the hell wants to read this? Who thinks A? Who thinks B? Oh, I like it when you guys lose. It's B! It's 65%. Now look, you gotta test. It might not work for everybody, but my hypothesis when I started thinking about this was, yo, longer pricing pages work on the web. It is just known. If you talk to any digital marketing guy, like who creates online courses, people will read what they want to read. It's like a long blog post, right? You just skim until you see a headline, you're like, oh, that's interesting, let me read. Look, they're gonna read when you're asking them for money. That's the one time they'll read. Don't believe me? Here's the chart, week over week. You can see downloads flat, revenue up 65%. Thank you, Rudy, for letting me show this. It's another app we work with, 12x more revenues, going long. Another one, this guy I love, all right? Now, if you think you got too many downloads, you're like, oh, I only got 25 downloads a day, I'm not making any money anymore, I need more downloads. Well, guess what? This guy went from $250 to $1,000 just by optimizing his paywall with just 15 downloads a day. That's 15 downloads a day. So you don't need more downloads. I, at the time, was saying you need at least 25 downloads. You don't need more downloads to make more money. But he did it with 15. All right, even another friend of mine started listening. This is a bit emoji app, right? You think highly graphical. So you thought like having more graphics would help, but nope. Added more text, used the word free, which works by the way. We added the word free right here for one of our clients, increased conversion by 11%. It was just a feature. It was like a ad blocker. And I was like, let's just add the word free in front of it, see what the hell happens. Saw an improvement in conversion. So, all right, long pricing pages. I'm just gonna move fast on this, all right? There's another slide that has a summary, but we're gonna break this down, all the elements. Think about it, good headline, right? What is the benefit? Paywall, above the fold. This is a floating button. Benefits, social proof, features table, if you want that. I've actually tried like just having your Apple rating or some other social proof too. Paywall again, or testimonials, more social proof, pricing, and then FAQs. And this is just a template that we use and a floating button. So super simple, right? That's all the elements you want. You go to any landing page. I sign up for one of these courses, right? Digital courses. I got one, okay, so I'm guilty. But you'll see all the different elements, and that's what I just borrowed it from, right? Good headline, features, all that stuff. So there it is, breakdown. Boop, summary. All right, here we go. Number 5, test a hard paywall, especially if you're under, let's say, 100 downloads or even 25 downloads. I would test a hard paywall. In a hard paywall, again, just no X, all right? Here's one of our apps. And I'll get to why I have these pricing just for you, just so you can see a sample of a hard paywall. You can see no X anywhere, okay? Here's our sales. So we bought the app. It was ranking really well organically. We ended up buying the app, and it was kind of, we're still building it, but here's where it really went into our portfolio, right? And so it was a hard paywall. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's super scammy, Steve. Like, bro, you're not even gonna let them try the app? I thought the same way. My co-founder was like, yeah, we built a hard paywall. I was like, what the hell? Why? I want people to use the app, love the app, and then want to pay us, right? But I was like, don't change anything. Let the data tell us what to do. And the data says he was right and I was wrong. So you're like, what happened, Steve? You're so-called an app marketing expert. What the hell happened here? Well, we put an X, all right? And so our sales dropped in half by putting an X. One little X on a paywall dropped half the sales. Yeah.
Do you still count it as a hard paywall if there's a free trial?
Yeah. Yes. Hard paywall just means no X. Okay. Yeah. I still think they can still try it. Thank you. What's your name? Tim. Thanks, Tim. Okay. We got back, put a hard paywall, went back to our normal stuff, right? Shows you the value. Now, the thing about hard paywalls is Jake Moore from Superwall, he said this, look, it could lead to a lower LTV. Now, for us, everybody's buying the yearly. So it's great for us, right? But if you're starting to see like maybe people buying a monthly, which has on average the lowest LTV, depending on your type of app, right? If you're a Netflix, if you're a Disney Plus, monthly makes sense for you. B2B, monthly probably makes more sense to you from an LTV perspective. Yep. No, we haven't seen too many refunds actually. And I think it's because, look, the way I think the hard paywall works well is for niche apps. So this is a sleep sounds app, but it's not about sleep sounds. I know exactly what you're searching for. We're number one for that keyword. So think green noise, think brown noise, right? Like I'm ranking number one for that term. So you're telling me exactly what you want, and I'm giving you exactly what you want, right? So that's why I think it's working well for us. Okay. My little puns. If you want a stiff one, this is ours, no X, all right? I got some other ones. So look, this is a Jigsaw dating app. We did this on a YouTube live stream. This was an A/B test that they run. Free doesn't work. I love that messaging. This was their highest performing. This was publicly shown. They A/B tested this, see what members say, with some social proof. This one saw a 35%, I think it's a 35% increase by just having some social proof here. But I just want to give you guys an example of another stiff, hard paywall, right? Semi-hard. Look at this. Lingo Kids, right? Looks pretty hard until you click View All Plans. And then they're like, yo, we've seen this before. Start free week, or maybe later. And then you're presented with that, right? So just to give you the flow again. Boop. Pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool. All right. It's one of my friends, Renan. I like this because it looks like there's no X. How do I get out of this? Now, I know what you think. Continue free actually starts a free trial, okay? You should probably change the messaging on this. But how do you get out of this? Anybody know? Yeah, swipe down. So like, I'm thinking like maybe people won't know that. So if you're going to do this, don't put the X. Like just see what happens. You know what I mean? Just leave it. So if you don't want to go super like a hard paywall, think about locked content. A friend of mine started to test this. He did a hard paywall. He's already making about $8,000, $10,000 a month. Did a hard paywall, saw improvement in his sales. And then he's like, well, Calm, Headway, all these guys are locking a lot of their content, right? Like, I dare you to try to find calm, free content within like 10, 15, 30 seconds. Be pretty hard to find. So you can see lock content. He A/B tested this. He's seeing that lock content is on average pretty much the same as a hard paywall. So he's seeing good results with his app doing that. So if you don't want to go hard, you can go semi-hard, or you can just do a lot of lock content as well. All right, free trials. I'm going to talk about this really quick. I think 7 is probably the ideal. 14 seems a little bit too long. Now, it all depends on your app, obviously, right? So test. 3, I like. It depends on if you're going after weekly. Sometimes weekly has a higher LTV. So if you're going after that, I would do a 3-day trial. That seems to be what most apps are doing. But 7, if you're going for yearly like I am, is the industry average. Oh, okay, so here's a quick little A/B test. I'll go quick. I won't make you guys play this game. By adding the free trial on the onboarding, because my client said, I give you 3 invoices for free. Why would I give you a free trial? And I was like, yo, because most people who buy during the onboarding process. And if free trials like overcome that objection of using your app. So just by doing that, we saw a 420% increase in sales. Now, it's a tiny little app. He went from like not making any money to finally making some money just by putting the trial. So if you're going to have trials, have it on your onboarding process. Okay, but what about after onboarding, where what happens users don't buy? William, thank you. Shout out to William. He did this. We did a video together. So thank you, William. Thank him. So it's all public, right, William? It's all public. I'm not sharing anything you didn't share. So what he did was he removed it. So if you didn't buy during the onboarding process, screw you. All right? You started using William's app. Can I mention the name, William, or you want me to hush hush? Okay, it's a private photo vault app, right? And so as you start using it, he's decided to A/B test versus trial and no trial. He saw no trial. Now, again, people are using the app, right? Saw $12,000 come in through his app just with no trial, and then $4,000 if you include a trial. Because if you have a trial, it's never going to be 100%. There's always going to be leakage. If you have no trial, obviously you're going to make that money. So start testing that. And I think that's, for me, becoming the best practice. I really like this case study. All right, so onboarding, definitely have trials. After onboarding, probably test no trials, especially if they start using your app. If you're going to do lock content, you obviously need trials, all right? But if they're starting to use your app, consider not having trials. They're either in or they're out. Like the hard paywall, you're either in or you're out. All right, rule of 3s, I like this. So this was at an old company I used to work for, so it's a web app. This is what we typically see, right? A, and then B. This case study actually was in the growth hacking book, wrote by my friend Morgan Brown and Sean Ellis, who's like the growth hacking king. So we saw a 233% in conversions, 40% of this plan bought the yearly, 60% bought the monthly, and then just by laying out this way, 86%. Because here's what I feel. Jake Moore from Superwall, he did this case study. He saw 2 plans versus 1, 61% lift, 3 plans versus 2, 44% lift. Now, the key is, he said this too, but I kind of disagree. The key is, when you have 3 plans, it might lead to a lower LTV. So the way I like to think about 3 plans is, 1 is a cheap plan, 1 is my ideal high LTV plan, 1 is completely a decoy plan, right? If you go back, this is a complete decoy. I didn't want you to buy. Nobody buys this. Go to my app, nobody buys anything besides the yearly. These guys don't even have trials, by the way, right? Only the yearly has a trial. So, short on time, but I got 10 seconds. I'm going to play this quick game. Everybody knows the Blink is paywall, yeah? All right, who thinks A1? Just by having this text, view all plans. I changed it to or 99. Who thinks A1? Everybody's like, yo, who thinks V1? Like, V seems to always win, Steve. 31% improvement in conversions, because I thought that 2 plans always work better. So instead of just saying view all plans and making people click, let's just put the freaking monthly plan there, right? It's just another thing that just shows the monthly plan. So that's what I like too. All right, bonus, real quick, promotions and win back. I'm going to show you this lock content really quick. Here, start free trial. You don't want to do that. You see, I like this too. This annual has no trial, but discounted, right? If I X out of this paywall, I see another offer. Now, I don't know how well this is performing for Headway, but I do know it's their third most popular in-app purchase. So I love win-backs. So I always want to show an offer after they hit X on their paywall. It's like you go to any website, they show this little spinning thing, right? Like save 20%, spin that wheel, and they get that. Okay, last tip, all right? I love this. They're about to delete your app. And like, yo, special offer for you. Tap here, just a discount. That's in my community. All right, any questions? I'm out of time. I know you want more time. That's it, guys. Check out the YouTube channel, YouTube.com/appmasters. We are an app marketing agency, full disclosure, but check out my content. Don't contact me until you check out at least one of the videos. No questions? Bianca, how are we on time? We're out of time. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of the day.